Hey everyone. Hey everyone. I always find it funny at the beginning of my lives because my energy is just so still. So I'm just like, I could just sit and enjoy the stillness and the silence whilst we kind of get together and see what comes through. I could literally just sit and enjoy the silence already. I wanted to talk really though about light's word or light sword. Hey, hi, the silence at the beginning, yeah. I wanted to talk about healing your nervous system, and silence is one of the most beautiful ways to do it. Obviously, it takes time to get there because I don't know whether I had ADHD. Like, I would never give myself a kind of definitive title like that because I think that you're just putting that spell on yourself and you're almost putting yourself in that conditioning to be more like that. And there's some titles people give themselves where they can't, there's no healing out of it. It's like you just accept that that's the way you are, and then that's it. Like, people don't see it as a way of like being able to overcome it and change it. They're more just like, oh, this is how I am, so that's just it, full stop. But I did always have an overactive mind from pretty much my whole life. So I never had silence, because even when it was quiet outside, my mind was so chaotic, my mind had so much going on, I never heard the silence ever. And so since being on the spiritual path, since I've actually drained my mind and healed my nervous system and protected my energy, since doing all that, it's like my mind has gone quiet and still, and I can be in the present moment, and I can hear the silence, and I can hear the sounds of the birds outside, I can hear the sounds of the running water, and I can hear the wind. And before I learned to quiet and calm and train my mind, I could be outside and all those noises were going on, but I didn't hear them because of how loud my internal noise was, and it was constant. It was never, there was no end to it. So now that I can hear the silence, I could just sit and bathe in it all way. It's truly beautiful, and I didn't know that I was missing it. And I always found meditation to be the very last thing I ever wanted to do. I wanted to instead watch things, receive information, like watching YouTube videos or watching on TikTok, or basically having conversations. I never wanted it to be quiet, and I never wanted to be quiet and sit still within myself, because that was so boring. I couldn't physically sit still. My body wanted to do stuff. My mind wanted to run wild. And that meditation was the hardest thing I've ever had to push myself through to do, because it's the last thing I wanted to do, and yet I knew it was the one thing I needed to do to progress on my spiritual process and to gain my psychic gift back, which is what I've wanted for so long. And so meditation, if you find yourself as someone who meditation is the last thing you want to do, sitting and trying to be quiet and trying to be still in the present moment, when it seems like there's nothing here, it can feel so still and boring. Why would I want to sit still in this nothingness and boringness? So if you find yourself like that, then meditation is going to be one of the most important things you do. Having the patience to sit still in the present moment is so important, because as well as having a busy and crazy mind, I also found myself not really having the patience for anything. Not really in a way that I would overreact and get angry at things and stuff, but more More like I was always rushing around from one thing to the next. And I even like maybe would be a bit impatient with having conversations with people, like they couldn't tell me quick enough, or I needed them to just hurry up and tell me what they need to say. I don't want to listen to small talk and stuff. I would be impatient in that sense as well. Rushing around, being clumsy, being late for things all the time. This is all this same energy of internal chaos, which I think a lot of people who have been labelled as ADHD, they're just internally energetically overstimulated. And again, it's you heal it through healing your nervous system. So Sevens asked, how did I heal my nervous system? All of these reasons up here, these are the ways I did it. So being in nature, spending time in nature, finding God, eating vegan, eating the proper nutrients. A lot of the time, most of the internal imbalances we have, being like depression, anxiety, fear, ADHD, anything that we have that's like a mental thing that we're experiencing, or even an emotional, physical thing, most of the time, I would say probably 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, it's due to being out of balance internally, which is due to not eating properly, not having the proper nutrients, taking drugs, traumas, and basically our internal chemistry being out of balance, and then everything else comes after that. So doing meditation, being present in the moment, doing yoga, especially either Kundalini yoga, which means that you can move your body whilst your mind practices staying still. So especially if you find it hard to sit still, you can do these repetitive motions while you keep your eyes closed, and as your body's moving in whatever motion it is that the yoga asks you to do, you do it for like 5 minutes of this repetitive motion, and it allows you to focus, because the energy that's pent up within you has got something to do. So it's not like you're sat there antsy, agitated, and you can't sit still. Kundalini yoga allows you to do something. Also though, doing yin yoga, which is like holding stretches for a long period of time, that was great, because me, with the anxiety and the stress I used to have tension in my shoulders. My shoulders were tight, my neck was tight, half of my face, it still is healing, but half of my face was wonky and being pulled down on this side, because all the muscles in my neck was tense, so it pulls my face down, and my face looks a bit distorted, and my shoulders were wonky, and it was all tight, and I couldn't speak my truth because my whole neck was just tight, energetically and physically. And so like doing physical stretches, I was able to stretch the tension out, but with the tension there was pain. As it stretched it out, this pain was coming up, but it was a stored energy that I'd been storing within me. So when you feel pain, when you're doing yoga stretches, that's actually you releasing this pain that you had stuck within your actual physical body the whole time. Breathwork as well, and magic, doing spells. Hi Ingrid. Light sword, I need to be able to meditate. I've done a bit and it's hard if the thoughts don't shut up. So 1000%. What I had to do for that is I had to start meditating with my eyes open, because if I closed my eyes, it would be about 10 seconds before I was already lost in a thought, and I didn't even realise I'd gone mentally somewhere else. As soon as my eyes were closed, my mind would just get taken. It was so easily distracted. And then that's basically like these noisy thoughts, but it's not like I just had the thought, it's like I got lost in the thought. It's like I'd forgot even where I was, because I was so in the thoughts mentally. So I found meditating with my eyes open, looking at a flame, or just like outside in nature, grounded definitely, because grounding helps ground the chaotic energy anyway. So it's a lot easier to manage the energy you have within if you're actually grounded and plugged into the earth. Being in nature is the biggest one, because the energy in nature is still, it is calm, it is peaceful, and you integrate and become that too. So you don't have to try. All you have to do is sit outside for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and your energy syncs with the energy of what the trees are doing, which is just still, taking their time, enjoying the small moments in life, being so patient, living 200 years plus. And one quote I really like is someone said, nature takes its time and yet nothing's left undone. So we stress, we try to rush through things, we try and get so much done, and we feel like we don't have enough time to get everything done. If you really go back to nature and you sit outside for 5-10 minutes, nature is so still, it's so slow, and yet there's nothing that's left undone or unfinished, or they're not panicking about, oh crap, I've not finished this, I've not paid this, or whatever it is. It's obviously difficult when we have to pay bills and we're trying to survive, we're trying to live, and the way that everything's built around us is fast paced. That's why we have to learn how to heal ourselves, because the way that everything's set up around us, it doesn't make it easy to do. Welcome everyone into the live. Ariel the Aries, hey. 1111, make a wish, beautiful. I'm so glad you spotted that. Massage will really help too, 1000%. Massage is exactly the same in the yoga, in the way that you are stretching out and rubbing out the tension within your body that's been stuck there. So the pain, because it's an energy, it's like, obviously what it is, it's an energy, but it becomes a physical pain. So all emotions are energy first. Emotion means energy in motion, and physical pain starts as emotional pain first, and then it gets stored somewhere, and then eventually it's in your auric field, and anything that's within your field, if it stays there long enough, will eventually condense into your physical vessel. This is how all disease, all illness, tension, stress, it all kind of like manifests into the physical over time. So you can use Reiki, energy work, magic, God, nature to cleanse you on an energetic level, so that these stressy tensions don't stay. But the thing is, like most of us, for a lot of our lives, that this is built up. For me, I had this tension built up in my neck maybe for 25 years before I even knew about releasing it, and before I even knew that was what was making my jaw wonky, that was what was making my face wonky. Like, I even went to the dentist when I was younger, and he was like, oh, you're grinding your teeth at night. He put like this jaw thing in that I had to have in at night, and that he was saying that's why my jaw was wonky and it was locking. No, it was because I had tight muscles. All of the muscles are all attached. So if you practice massaging all your muscles, even on your chest, it's all connected. And so you'll be amazed at just how much you can really heal yourself naturally without needing other things. 7, was my throat chakra blocked? Well, it's very interesting you should say that, because I'm a singer. I since young used to sing, but I was always too scared to sing in front of people, and my mum used to force me to sing in front of people. Like, she would I thank her for it now, because she basically was able to help me to break through the fear. But we would be like at a pub, and they would be having like singers go on and do like a karaoke song kind of thing, and I went to the toilet one time, and like I would come back and they'd be like, and next up is Gabby, and she's gone and submitted my name, and I had no idea she was doing it. And I'd come back from the toilet and I'd be so angry, why would you do this to me? And they're calling me up, and it's so embarrassing that they're calling me onto stage. What do I do now? Well, I then have to get up and have to sing, and I'm so embarrassed. And so tension, tight, fear, oh my gosh. Around the throat chakra, around singing in front of people, expressing myself. Perhaps it was a past life thing, that maybe I got killed for sharing truth with my voice. And so in this life, it's like been a big thing of, you have to share your voice, whether you're scared of it or not. And so I had all this tension all around here. But also what it was, this is like a nervous system reaction as well, as my family, I had quite a good upbringing. It wasn't ever really, there was no like mega arguments, real big traumatic things. So I'm like really blessed for that. But on an energetic level, on an emotional level, there's quite a lot of anxiety and stress even though you couldn't tell or see it on the surface. It was more like we would just pretend everything is okay, and we still kind of do, like, in a way that we wouldn't. It's all subconscious, it's all subtle. You wouldn't know that someone is stressed or angry really, but if you were aware of the energy, which I am now, you can feel it. And it was like I learned from young, and it was actually from my mum's womb, and I did a past life or this life regression in the bath one time. I basically went back to myself in my mum's womb, because a lot of the things that we learn, a lot of the programs we pick up, a lot of the ways that we are, starts from, say, like in the womb up until 7 years old is like the main time. Past life stuff can affect it, even up until right now in this moment things can affect it, but when you're younger, that's when it's like seemed to be most prominent. In my mum's womb, I was picking up on her being anxious, and I, like tensing up, like someone's going to hit you, so you'll tense up like that so nothing can penetrate. I do that, but on an emotional, energetic level, as an energetic force field of protection, completely closed off, protected, but really tense, like I'm ready for someone to punch me. But that means then that you're so closed off. I was struggling to be in my feminine. I was struggling to be open and receiving abundance, receiving manifestations, being in my feminine in general. I was really struggling. I had fear of men. I had fear of, like, I didn't trust myself. I didn't feel like strong and stuff. It was weird. But this tension I was holding, it was all actually energetic. But it's really important you don't be holding energetic tension, because you need to be able to be in your masculine and your feminine. But I was just tight to protect myself, which is obviously why people build up these walls and stuff. It's all for protection. Thanks heaven for the heart. But you do need to let them go. Like they get to a point where they're not serving you anymore. In fact, I was struggling to be in my feminine. Like I said, I was really struggling to receive even guidance. I wanted my psychic gifts back, because I used to be really psychic and see ghosts and hear ghosts when I was younger. And it got to this point where I had a few experiences. My whole family was freaked out. Then suddenly, like, I don't remember having any more. All my psychic gifts was turned off, and I wanted them back. But I wasn't able to receive the energetic information, because I was so held up. And even so, in like making love with people and stuff, really tensed up. Like I wouldn't allow anyone in physically, emotionally, like even like it was like all very tense, not being able to relax and stuff. So yeah, it really took a long time actually to learn to be in my feminine, but not only to be in your feminine, but to feel safe, being able to open up energetically to people and stuff. So, Wild Misty's experienced this as well. Light sword, I walk in the fields near me barefoot and sit on a tree. That helps me 1,000%. 1,000%. The biggest and easiest and quickest way for anyone is to find somewhere in nature and just go there, even for 5 minutes, even if it's just in your garden. Hearing the sounds of the birds, frequency, it does something to us. Listening to the wind, it does something to us. It's like hearing the music of the cosmos, the music of nature. It's really, really, it's the medicine we all need right now. Heaven sent, hello beautiful Faye. Nature is fast paced in summer. Yeah, that is true. The sun charges everything up, so you do get things buzzing round and getting all filled with life and light. Things spring into action, don't they? So yes, there is fast pace in nature in summertime, but then there's still quite a lot of, it's still quite still. Like the trees as an example, they take their time even through summer. They blossom and bloom, but it's still compared to what we are like. If we were in a beautiful kind of symbiotic flow with nature, it'd be interesting to see what humanity or humans would be like. 45 minutes in nature in complete stillness is powerful, feels much longer and relaxes you 1,000%. Sconrad, love the stream. Thanks for all your lovely videos. You're so welcome. You can ask your guides to heal you. 1000% ask your guides. Ask God. Someone said even muscle ache. Even muscle ache. Yeah, muscle ache is literally like, it's a pain. It's a pain, and so that's an energy. And so with muscle ache, there's a few things. Sometimes it can literally be like you're deficient in nutrients. Maybe like you need some kind of like magnesium, or maybe you need some sodium, or maybe you need like some B12 or something like that. There could be some reason why you're actually getting like, say, and maybe iodine or something, maybe a reason you're getting like cramps or aches and stuff. Or it could be you've torn a muscle doing too much exercise, or maybe it's that you just need to rest. But a lot of the time as well, it can be an energetic pain, a bad spell, some psychic attacks. And so there's different ways that you can heal different things. What I do is I live the life of light. Thanks for the flame hearts, Zoe. I live the life of light. What that means is I do all of the above as my daily life. So it's not like I'll just do it as and when I need it. Like I actually just live that. I just live that life. And then you avoid manifesting these negative things, because you're covering all bases, and it's a continuous life that you live that way. It's not like some people say you need to make time for your health now, otherwise you'll have to make time for illness later. So it basically means that you want to be consistently working on staying healthy now, because it's a lot easier doing these small steps in the right direction than getting like something like a bad illness where you then like literally can't do anything for 3 months and you're fully out of it. And it's really horrible being unwell. Anytime you're unwell, don't you always think, God, I can't wait till I'm better. I'm going to just really appreciate feeling well again. No one likes feeling unwell. It feels like pure turd. Because wait till I'm better. I'm going to just really appreciate feeling well again. No one likes feeling unwell. It feels like pure turd, because it is so. And live your life that way, then living your life not caring, and eventually if something came up, it's just worse and harder to actually deal with. Netchin IV has said breathwork's released a lot of the trauma for you. Yeah, breathwork as well is it's been so powerful for me. I really like doing Wim Hof's, you know, like the 10-minute guided meditation of breath work. I find it really great. I feel so charged afterwards. And that has also helped me with some of my stored tension. Let's have a look. Yeah, we can carry stuff from past lives 1000%. Thanks for the gifts, everyone. Dragon eggs. Dragon eggs, guys. That's wonderful. Butterflies as well. I must have been missing these gifts. Thank you for sending these. Zoe, glad you caught me live as well. Solar flares are giving you the cramps. Someone sent a tofu. Wishing you a lovely Venus rays, Remy. Someone said maybe the turd is the remedy. I don't know whether what's interesting is I don't know whether you mean just take a turd and everyone feels better after they've had a turd, because you do feel good actually after having a big poo. But sometimes people say like things like when you actually have cancer, what that actually is your body's way of trying to get rid of the toxins that was already in you. So it flares up like it's an illness or like it's a disease, but what that is actually the evidence that your body's actually trying to detox. But this is the thing, is like because it's trying to detox, your body is always trying to heal itself. That's all your body is doing, is constantly trying to heal itself. So that's why it's nice to treat your body with respect and be like, I'm going to gift you the nutrients that you need and treat you well, so that you're not having to spend every single last morsel of energy trying to heal, and instead you can use that energy to feel good and then to put into like creative projects, because the energy within you, that creative life force, you can use it for anything. You can use it for becoming like a powerful magician, for manifesting what you want, for creating beautiful things, for creating even children. You can create anything with this life force energy. You can expand your wisdom, expand your psychic gifts, or you can use that energy for healing yourself. And the way that I used to live before I understood the importance of health alongside your spirituality, the two should really come hand in hand. You can't, your health and your spirituality, they are one, because our bodies are our vessels and our tools for receiving the energy, the light, the information from God, from our guides, of what we're meant to be doing here. And if our tools aren't looked after properly, like with the car, people say you're meant to take them in for a service, you're meant to look after them, put the right oil in and stuff, so it works well and lasts as long as you need, and it works in the way you need it to work. Our bodies are exactly the same. So you can't become aware consciously about the fact that you're a soul, about the fact you're here for a purpose, about the fact you're here to help with the spiritual awakening, and then not look after yourself. It doesn't compete. The two don't work together, like, because with self-awareness comes the awareness that this is self, and that you're here for a reason, and you need to look after yourself so you can fulfill your purpose in the best way. So, do I know my origin from heaven? Heaven sent, isn't that a funny, it sounds like you know your origin as well. It's like saying Nectan the Fourth. Okay. Great king of the Picts. An ancestor of yours. Amazing. So you're from Scotland then? Hi, Jenny. Damaged cells usually from parasites. Yep. So again, parasites. This is why healing, being healthy and living the life of light is so important. 1000% you need to balance the mental, emotional, physical and spiritual, because it is all one. The physical is literally the manifestation, the crystallization of everything that you are mentally, emotionally and energetically. So yeah, it's all interconnected. Julie, hi. Pedro the puppy, you say what you need to say. Yoga coach, yoga changed my life for the better. I've been teaching it now for 10 years. This is the thing, it's the spiritual practices, they aren't just like for show. They aren't just to make people look good or look spiritual or to prove how flexible you are. Like, the spiritual practices are here because they literally serve people spiritually. They help people on the spiritual path. That's the only reason they exist. So all of these practices, they exist for a reason, because collectively everyone's gone, yeah, I've tried that and it feels really good. It awoken me to my energetic senses. I was able to commune with God after I started doing those practices. I had more energy, I felt better, like I felt more aligned with my path and my purpose. And so that's why I know that yoga works. That's why I know that breathwork works. This is it. Like, you have to do it yourself and experience it and be your own scientist and be like, okay, yes, I've done that too and it does work. And so that's how I know where the path of light is going to lead me. Like, that's how I know how to get back home after this reality, how to get back to God and to heaven and things like that. Thanks for the badges, guys. I apologise if I ignore them. I don't know if I'm like not, because I'm so involved in talking, whether I'm just not seeing them or whether like for some reason they're not showing up. So TLC with peace, I appreciate you too. Thank you for that. Your words are very kind, saying things like that, so I appreciate it. Oh, so Netchin the Fourth is born in Australia, but Sinclair on one side and Clan Henderson on the other. Many exiles here, like the Jacobites and the O'Neills. Amazing. A load of them went to America as well, because we get so many American tourists here. So many, but I really liked it because you meet so many different people, and there's different like busloads of tourists that come, and they just travel the whole of Scotland like exploring. And I just really like their passion and enthusiasm for Scotland, because they must have a lot of ancestors from Scotland, so they come and they're so excited to be here and so filled with like the joy and life of like exploring the UK. And it is quite funny because the UK, when you're from the UK, you kind of like, what's the big deal about coming to the UK? If you went to like New Zealand, Australia, America, like the scenes, the sights are so much more grand. But Scotland, yeah, Scotland is absolutely so beautiful. Glencoe as well, you will no regret going to Glencoe. It is really breathtaking, to be honest. Of all the places in the UK, the Scottish Highlands are they're ranked number one in like the most beautiful. Then I would say you've got Wales, probably like certain parts of Wales, then Cornwall, and then take your pick on like England. Ireland as well, I would say, is up there with Wales. So I'd go Scotland, then Ireland and Wales on par with each other, then England is. So, oh, you're in Devon, yeah. There's so many, hi Blue, there's so many megalites in Devon, like the whole of Cornwall, and Devon, there's just so many stone circles, quoits, like megaliths, megalites. Going to visit those as well. They're gonna boost your spiritual awakening, your magic, and also help heal your nervous system as well. Southern Ireland is beautiful. The west coast of Ireland, stunning. The west coast of Scotland, stunning. The west coast is really beautiful. Like, I don't know whether the west coast of America is the same, but I found the west coast of the UK seems to be more beautiful than the east coast. And what I find interesting is, you know, like the four directions, north, south, east and west. Well, you've got the planets or the luminaries govern the directions. And so north, I believe, is like the sun. You've got on south, you've got like the moon and Saturn. On the west, I believe, is Venus and maybe Jupiter. Now Venus is the goddess that governs beauty. So I'm like, isn't that interesting that the west coast is so beautiful and the direction of west is governed by Venus, who is the goddess of beauty? And I'm like, is there something going on there with that? Like, is that why? Do you guys know if the west coast of America is particularly more beautiful than the east, or whatever country you're from? Is the west more beautiful than the east, or what? I'm curious to see how at home I feel. It's a strange concept. Yeah, do you know what's really interesting is I'm from England, but I had never been to Scotland up until I was like 29 or something, 28, 29. I'd never been to Scotland. And I'd been to Wales, like all my life I'd been all over, just never to Scotland. And then I went to visit Scotland once and I just was like, this is my home. So I moved up here and I've lived here since. And I just went once and I just knew it. I just felt so at home. And some people say that the real Holy Land is the UK. So Jesus and Mary Magdalene, they actually lived in the UK. They actually, Edinburgh, I think, is the real Jerusalem. There's like a mountain called like King Arthur's Seat. That's meant to be the real Mount Olives. And the Hebrew actually comes from the island of the Hebrides, which is these little islands off the Scottish coast. And so when we came to Scotland, we were told by our guide to say the word shalom, and we were like, why? Like, because that's a Jewish word. We said the word shalom, and our energy ascended right to the top. So it filled us with this ascension energy, this ascension light. The word shalom resonated with the land of Scotland. So the word shalom, it came from the Scottish land. It came from the land. That's why it resonated, and that's why it had the effect it did. And now what they've done is, whether you believe the UK is real Holy Land or not, we'll all agree that everywhere seems to be relocated from where it used to be. Like, there's certain pyramids in Arizona, or there's the Grand Canyon or something. There's like pyramids and things that look like the Sphinx and stuff. So we're all aware that where people say historical places are, they actually aren't. So with the England and Scotland being the real Holy Land, what they've done is they've pretended that Jerusalem is the real Holy Land. So when people go and say shalom over there, it doesn't have the same magical power and effect as it does if you use the word on the land it resonated from. So it's interesting with all of these things. Who's the goddess of beauty is Venus. Shattered Starlight, my favourite weird word wizard. That's me. So what nutrients do I take? I just mostly eat, well, I eat raw vegan, so I get all my nutrients just from raw fruit and vegetables and nuts. I also take ashwagandha. It's a really great powder, a really great nutrient to take if you're trying to heal your nervous system. Also rhodiola. They're called adaptogens, and what adaptogens do is they basically adapt in your body to basically what you need. So it's like really balancing. There's these certain medicines if you take them. But I also take iodine, I take B12. I'm not scared of taking additional nutrients. I eat raw vegan, so I get so much stuff, especially the energy, the life force from the food. However, as well, it's okay to supplement yourself with even more stuff. And as I do, I feel myself getting stronger, more charged with light. And I need to eat less because when you've got the right nutrients, that's all you need. So you're meant to eat for nutrients, not really just for taste and stuff. So as long as you're getting the correct nutrients and what you need, then you're chilling then. Then of course eat for joy if you want to, but you just need to make sure you're getting all the correct nutrients. And there's a great app called Chronometer. It's free, and you basically put in everything you've eaten that day, and it'll tell you all the nutrients and minerals in that food and what you still need for that day. So it's important when you do go, say, raw or vegan, if you're trying to change your diet, with any new diet, just always make sure you're getting what you need. Otherwise, you'll end up having a nutritional deficiency, feeling weak, feeling tired, feeling low, feeling depressed, and then it's not served you. So you need to just make sure you're having all the nutrients you need, which is really easy to do when you're eating raw fruit and vegetables anyway. So, America's beautiful everywhere. Light Swords Heritage is in Scotland. Yes, you guys need to visit Scotland. It's so beautiful. Someone said to me about the Scone Stone as well, and I've not been there. I need to go. Majima Star Williams, you're so beautiful. Thank you. Heaven Sent with the love hearts. Peru is the most spiritual place on earth. Again, I've not been. There's so many places I would go. But since I started kind of like my spiritual awakening and would be interested to go to certain places, it was like the lockdowns happened, and then like now I don't think I would get on a plane. I don't think I would get on a plane because people have been dropping dead from whatever they took a few years ago when the lockdowns happened, and I don't trust any pilots flying me anywhere until I know that the world's good, there's no like conspiracies actually really going on, until I know that we're all like chilling, like our job here's done, we can have a good time and we can stop needing to fight the night, then I'll be traveling and enjoying myself again. But for now I'm like rooted down into the earth, like, right, God, I'm doing my spells every day, I'm healing myself, I'm helping heal others, and I'm doing it from behind the scenes in the comfort of my own home, because that's where I know that I'm like safe enough until I know and I can trust that the earth isn't going to just have something crazy happen like whilst I'm out somewhere and then I've just gone and effed up my whole situation. I'm here to like help God and help the light. So me getting myself stranded somewhere and then just really effing things up for myself isn't a smart move, when like it would be smarter to just stay put, do what I need to do, wait till the earth's gone through its shift, and then have fun and travel and do all that kind of stuff. It's the same with taking like drugs and stuff. Now, like, I've had my years of fun and now I'm like staying sober minded, just staying aware and with it, because you need to be, because there's gang stalkers now, there's mind hackers, there's people who can plant thoughts in your mind. They can read your mind, they can put energies and emotions in your body, they can attack you energetically and psychically. So you aren't even safe in your own home anymore if you aren't aware and with it. So consciously be here, be present, be focused. You wouldn't go onto a battlefield and try and be like a strong warrior if you were really drunk. So it's like, be sober minded and present and focused and with it in here, and heal yourself and do the work, because now's the time to be doing that. So just having a little look what you guys are saying. Since I was 6 or 7ish, but it's really hard to go vegan without eggs. So like, I guess I'm going to say wondering if I were to harvest eggs myself or got them from a local trusted farmer. Would that be okay? I'm guessing so I personally would avoid all animal products, only because it's going to stop and block your spiritual ascension and growth past a point. So you can get so far, but if you're consciously consuming something that's been created in and of the energy of an animal, the consciousness of that animal, which is it's less evolved than human consciousness, when you put that in yours, it becomes a part of you and it descends your energy in your conscious awareness. And then you start having these same kind of like desires like the animal had, which is why so many of us now live in the ego or the animalistic self, very lustful, wanting to like sleep around. Like, this is what the energy of, like, say, young men used to be like. And I said used to be, so I'm not casting that spell on them anymore. But that's because they're eating like animals that have had like been pumped full of steroids and hormones, and that like you know, like say rabbits shagging around, or people like wondering why they're feeling depressed, but they're drinking the milk from a cow that's had its babies taken away. And as that cow is producing the milk for its baby that's just been taken away, it feels sad, because guess what? Animals have emotions too. And so the cow cries for its baby, and the milk is produced with that energy of feeling sad, missing its baby, wanting its baby, because cows actually release the same hormone we do when we have a baby. So when a mother has a child and she loves that child and she has that feeling of, wow, I would kill and die for my child, the cow has that same hormone oxytocin that's released, and so it feels just the same for its own children like we do for ours. And then when it gets taken away, that's the energy, that's the sadness that the milk is created with. And then that is no going to serve you, putting that in your body if you're trying to heal from sadness and from pain and from suffering. If you're consuming that, it's the same. Now you might say, but chickens, if they've lived free range, if you've got your own backyard chickens, surely they have happy lives, and so surely they're not in the pain, and the egg isn't created in that kind of an emotional energy. It's definitely created in a better energy if they're like literally completely free, and they're not like with battery hens and stuff, or even hens that have come from the industry. They have a simulated, they get the lights when they're in like the factories and stuff, the lights are turned on and off 3 times a ray to trick them into thinking that 3 rays have been 3 days. So in one day they produce 3 times the amount of eggs as their body would naturally do, because they've been tricked into thinking that it's already been 3 days. So they get spent sooner, a lot quicker. Their bodies can't handle the production, so then they end up only living probably for a year maximum before they get sent to the slaughterhouse, because they can't create any more eggs. So that's again like some kind of ill, probably disease ridden, like chicken that's had eggs. You might have rescued it, but it's still not had the best upbringing. It's still the animal of the consciousness of an animal, even if an animal was brought up as a pet and was completely loved and given cuddles and the human imbued it with all its light. It's still eating the energy of an animal will descend you, and it descends you to the point where you would lose your Christ consciousness if you did become enlightened. Someone sent a baguette. Thank you. So Nicole said, in the USA our soil is so depleted, even raw isn't enough. That's the thing, it gets hard, because like there's toxins everywhere in the soil, in the water, in the air and stuff. So what I do believe is coming for the future is us going back to more consuming like energy for like literally consuming the energy and the light from like the land, from nature and stuff, and living etherically through energy rather than needing the physical substances as much anymore. Like we're going to end up activating all the megaliths and activating all the energetic grids to the point where we'll just feel full and charged without needing the actual food, the actual physical stuff. And it might be that we get pushed into that through the fact that we can't eat as much good food anymore. So it might be that like people don't let go of their food easily. It might be that they get forced into having to do that through maybe food shortages or through too many toxins or something that makes us have to learn how to evolve and adapt, which might be then learning how to fill ourselves energetically through chi cultivation. Light Sword, if you think you're missing a lot of nutrients, get that app, Chronometer. It's CH. I wonder if I can just type in the chat or not, but it's like CHRONOMETER. It's free, but it's so worth it, because you just put in everything you've eaten that way, and then it tells you exactly what you're missing down to every single nutrient and mineral. So it'd be like vitamin K. You've only had 10% of that. You're meant to have like 100% array. So then you're like, oh shit, of all the things I've been having, it's vitamin K. I had no idea. I just felt tired. And so you can then be like, right, I'm going to eat more kale or whatever it is that vitamin K is in. And then you can make sure that you put it back in again. Oh, now I've had my full amount. Amazing. Like I'm getting everything I need. It's important to do that. Otherwise, you just set yourself up for failure, basically. Flux, my idea of God is the prime source creator being who created all of our souls and created all of this that we're experiencing right now. India, feel like school is draining, but I don't want to drop out. What is it like when you say school? Do you mean like college and university that you can drop out? Because in the UK you have to go to school. You can't legally, like, I don't think you can actually drop out until you get to like the age of 16, and then from then you can choose whether you want to stay in or not. But if you get to the point where like you can just choose, then it depends on like what you're studying, why it's draining. Is it the people around you? Is it that you don't enjoy doing what you're doing? Is it that you are just being psychically attacked and that your people see your light and they're siphoning your energy? There's loads of reasons why things can be draining. Sometimes it's that you're being successful, you're doing something good for yourself and people don't want to see it, and then that can be a reason why you're being drained, and it's to try and stop you from carrying on with that which was helping you and serving you level up. Or it could be the opposite, where maybe you're not being fulfilled, maybe you're doing something that just isn't what you should be doing. So it depends really on what you the reason you're doing it and the reasons why you think you should carry on or should leave it in. If it's just literally just because you're tired, I would look into more things like eating properly, charging up with in nature, learning magic to get rid of black magic and negative energy through spells and things like that. So Andrew Pennycook said, can't give up drinking, can you give me advice? Yeah, so there's a book called, I'm just going to try and see if I can just put my phone on charge. Basically, thank you for the love heart. Trying to think which book would be best to give you, but there's a trick called, there's like a state your body gets into called ketosis, and when you get into ketosis, your body naturally goes into ketosis when you fast for like 2.5 to 3 days. What happens is you get to this point where your body starts, it basically does a reset. I call it God's healing table, but it resets the chemistry of your brain, the chemistry of your gut flora. It resets your system so that you start burning fat rather than burning carbohydrates. And this is when people do fasts and they say, wow, I was tired, I was hungry, I was like angry, and then suddenly after fasting I got past this point after a few days where suddenly I felt amazing and my eyesight was sharper and I had mental clarity and I felt calm and I felt good and my hunger got turned off and my addictions got turned off. That's what ketosis does. So there's a book that you can trigger ketosis in under 5 minutes rather than needing to fast for a few days. So when I was addicted to cigarettes and weed, I met my spiritual teacher and I had tried like giving up cold turkey and all sorts. I tried using vapes instead. I wasn't able to give up and I was actually really angry. I had withdrawal symptoms and I couldn't get past the point to quit. And also I hadn't ever fasted and I don't think I ever wanted to try and fast for 2.5 days. So he said, try this ketosis trick, it will take you an hour to get in, that'll turn off your addictions and then you won't have the addictions, but you've managed to get that without fasting for it. So it's a shortcut and it's a win-win for me. So I did that and it basically turned off my addiction, my withdrawals and all sorts for it. But addictions are half your physical body needing those substances because it becomes reliant on them substances to feel good and to function normally. And the other half is these energies, these demons, these bad spells that people have put on you, that you've put on yourself, or that have been feeding off you in that low vibrational state. So you will still fight the thoughts, you will still fight these mental, these voices in your head telling you to have another drink. But the difference is, and I found that the physical addiction was the hardest to overcome, the difference is the thoughts will be there, but you won't have the desire, the anger, the need, the absolute thirst to have a drink. Like with my cigarettes, I needed a cigarette, otherwise I would be so angry, I would lash out at people, and then I had to go and have a cigarette, and then I finally felt normal again. And I was like, how am I ever meant to get past this addiction if I can't get past the anger to the point where I get so angry I just had to have a cigarette? How do you do that? Well, when I did the ketosis trick, what happened then was, because it turned off my cravings, my addiction, I didn't have the anger. So then even if the thought came, I didn't need a cigarette because I didn't have that anger where I was pushed to have one because I was so angry. So it's like, the physical addiction, being able to turn that off was a massive assistance to then just deal with the random thought of wanting a drink, but also be aware of the people you're hanging out with. You won't be able to hang out with people going and having a drink on like a Saturday night, or at least until you absolutely have been sober for a few months or a year, because it's easy to get dragged back into those energies and just to have one if everyone else is doing it. So you have to be ready to give up. But if you want the trick, the ketosis trick, there's one book that takes an hour to do and you use plant medicines for it, but I'll give you the trick that takes 5 minutes to do instead, and the book's only £4. The other book's like 20 quid. So it's a book, it's £4 and it's got 20 different ways to trigger ketosis, and it takes 5 minutes to do each one. And the different ways you utilize energy or magic in order to do it. I would advise, there's one in there that's called the mudra ketosis. It's basically using like mudras, shortcutting your energy in different ways, circuiting your energy in different ways, because our nervous system is like an electrical circuit. When you connect these channels of energy when you connect them in different ways, it circuits and changes your electrical output in different ways, and it changes your biochemistry in different ways. The word mood ra is mood as in mood. Are you angry? Are you positive? Are you feeling good? Ra is light. It shifts your mood through light. So there's a mudra in the book, which I would advise trying that first as the way to do your ketosis. But all the other things work as well. I've always had positive results from people with using the mudra. The book's called Matrix Magic Leo, and it's in the link in my profile. And you can find it on like Amazon and things like that. But the one I've got in my profile or on my Patreon is £4 to download the PDF. And then you've got these like 20 different ways. And it also gives you an introduction about addiction and about ketosis as well. And actually about magic and the way that the world's governed by magic and things like that. Just reading these comments. I've got like 7% battery on my phone for some reason. Can I please say the letters again? I think you mean for the app, the Chronometer app. So how to spell the Chronometer app is CHRONO. So it's like chrono and then meter, METER, and it's all one word. The actual app symbol is like a little dartboard. It's like a white background, I think, with like a red and blue dartboard or something. Nicole, I wasn't recommending adding vitamin K to every meal. I was just basically using vitamin K as an example of something you might be lacking in. Something that Chronometer will be able to tell you if you're lacking in or not. Thanks, Wild Misty. My phone's just like, it's dark and I've got like 5% and I don't know. Yeah, my phone's charged, I'm still online.